Hey everyone, welcome back to the Glass Seats podcast. This is our show where two hockey aficionados discuss their perspectives on headlines surrounding the NHL, including recent stories, game highlights, league culture, and other topics trending amongst the fans. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal, and this week in hockey, everybody's miserable.
Yes, everyone sucks.
Unless you are a Golden Knights fan or a Bruins fan.
Yeah.
Everyone else is mad.
Yeah. And honestly, granted, we were spoiled and the Sharks were really good in the 2010s.
For almost 20 years.
Yeah, for almost
really
20
good.
years, they were really good. So we never really paid attention to the bottom. But damn, there's a lot of teams that are not good.
I mean, we're not even going to get to all of them today.
No.
Yeah,
we have to cut some stuff, yeah.
Calgary's having some strugs.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's having some strugs.
Yeah.
Maple Leafs are having some strugs.
One of us said something about Pittsburgh either being really good or really bad, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember entirely, but...
Mm-hmm. I think you said if they're healthy,
yeah,
they're going to be good.
Yes.
If they get injured, they're going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But right now, they're healthy and terrible.
Dang it. Venn diagram got me.
Pittsburgh heard you and is like, ¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah. I mean, excluding the 10-2 routing of Eric Carlson's former team, I mean, not too bad, I guess. But yeah, also not too great.
Yeah, so we can't get to all of it today.
Yes.
So what we will get to, we'll talk about Oilers' misery, we'll talk about the Sharks' misery, and we'll talk about Ottawa's misery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shall we start with Edmonton?
Yeah, I think we have to.
So, for our last episode, we talked about leading into the Heritage Classic.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, McDavid played.
Yeah.
He decided to come back from injury. He played.
2 points, I think.
Yeah. Had a great game.
Yeah.
Oilers won, and they looked good winning.
Yeah, 5-2. It was a pretty dominant win, too. Statement win.
And led to nothing.
Yeah. I really thought that was the turning point. I'm not going to lie.
Same. I was like, oh shit, they look good.
Yeah.
No, it's just Calgary looks
Calgary
bad.
sucks, yeah. Yeah, not great. Unfortunate for the Oilers, and I really thought that was a turnaround, especially with the statement win. You know, sometimes there's things that just need to kind of mesh together at the beginning of the season. I don't think that's the case with the Oilers. They've been surprisingly bad.
And you know what I thought the difference was at the Heritage Classic, they stacked up the lines. They put Draisaitl and McDavid together. And they've kept that lineup, I think, in all the games I've seen at least. And they put Nuge and Evander Kane together on the second line. So they've really kind of stacked the forward lines.
Yeah.
But even then, hasn't really led to anything.
Yeah. I haven't watched too many Oilers games since then, but has Evander Kane gotten actual adequate ice time at this point, or is he still
he's playing second line minutes, but they're really leaning heavy on that Draisaitl McDavid line.
So 2-man team.
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
But yeah, they can't do anything with the defense and the goaltending with what it's been.
Yeah.
And Jack Campbell is now in the AHL.
Yeah. I don't want to say that's the biggest surprise, but wow, that's bad.
I mean, they needed something.
Yeah.
And right now, if they don't have a trade or a signing or something, they're probably going to call up Calvin Pickard, I think, is their AHL goalie.
So Calvin Pickard's in net for Thursday?
I don't know if he's going to be in net or backing up, but he's on the roster.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. And keep in mind, I actually looked this up this morning because I was curious. Jack Campbell's making $5 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
That is an expensive goalie in the AHL right now. But
yeah, they get some cap relief. I think around $1 million, a little bit over $1 million of cap relief so that they can bring Pickard up.
Yeah.
But it's getting desperate.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't see this necessarily as a bad thing because, one, nobody was taking on that contract with the performance he's been putting out the past couple of years.
He had to go through waivers, so if anyone wanted it, they could have gotten him for free.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Nobody wanted
Nobody wants him.
Yeah. So I think Edmonton knew that too. And two, maybe him just going to the minors, getting his head straight, getting some sort of confidence back is going to, do him wonders, and then he'll come back completely changed. We have no idea. It's a good experiment, though.
Guys, I think this is what Campbell is, guys. He gets hot for a while, and then he goes back to being a serviceable backup.
Well, he was good with LA, or was it Toronto that was good?
So LA, he had a really good season where he got some playing time because Quick was declining. Then Toronto signed him, and he had I think a mediocre season. There was hot stretches and then really bad stretches.
Yeah, he was there 1 or 2 years or something
like that. And then he signed the big contract in Edmonton.
Got it. So he got the bag and started sucking.
Yeah.
The Vlasic effect.
Yeah.
It sucks to see this as a goalie, to see this from a goalie.
Mhm.
But I think the worst part is Stuart Skinner's. Who's to say he's not on waivers too? I mean,
I think
hasn't been
Stuart
great
Skinner
either.
gets claimed.
You think?
Because that's $2.6 million for a 25-year-old goalie.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
That's why they waived Campbell and not Skinner.
Yeah, there's hope there, but yeah, Edmonton's. Something I want to mention too is we can't pin this only on goalies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched that absolute blowout game, second blowout game now against the Canucks, where they lost 6-2.
Yeah, I did.
Those were some atrocious defensive plays, I guess. I'm pretty sure one of the defensemen put the second goal for Vancouver, or maybe first goal, directly into the Edmonton net. And that was like maybe their third shot on goal or something. And they were out shooting Vancouver 19-2, and man, that goes in like...
It's like they see McDavid cheating on offense, which he should because he's McDavid.
Yeah.
And then the whole team is like, I can do it too.
Yeah.
And then you got Campbell like, guys?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah, I mean... Get the man some help, basically. I don't know. The defense is not great. The goaltending is not great. I don't know what to say here that is basically positive for the Oilers. I'm not sure what is going well here, if anything at all.
Draisaitl's having a great season.
But that is expected of him.
Yeah.
Even McDavid's not, I think he's playing through injury.
Yeah.
My guess is he's playing
I mentioned
through
this last time too.
Yeah.
That like I don't think he's 100%.
Yeah. There's no way he just suddenly in one off season does not become this good.
Yeah.
You know, it's not possible.
This man has what, 4 or 5 Hart trophies?
Yeah. All of a sudden he's just like putting up, he's what, 70 something in terms of points right now in the whole league. It's just, I don't know. I think there's something he's not talking about.
Yeah.
So,
and he can't even take it off, because if he takes it off, then they're screwed even more.
Yeah.
So maybe he should. They're already 31st in the league.
Yeah. I mean, what you mean, like give up on the season?
No, like take a couple weeks, get right, and then come back.
Oh, okay.
Like instead of just dragging this through.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's something I also want to mention. We are very early on in the season. We're like maybe 10 games, a little over 10 games in.
I don't think we're as early as everyone's saying.
You think?
What's the benchmark for when stats start to count?
January, beginning of January, end of December?
No, that's way too late. The common benchmark is American Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's about a quarter of the way through the season, right?
Yeah, but there's so much that can change in that time.
But that's the benchmark.
Okay.
Of when these stats start to matter.
Fair.
That's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. I mean,
you got 2 weeks, so that's what, 5-ish games?
So if McDavid takes off 2 weeks and directly all the way to American Thanksgiving, how is...
I mean...
Isn't Edmonton going to be in a worse position at that point?
Can you be? The only team behind you is the Sharks.
That's true. And the Sharks are trying to lose.
Yes. I don't think you can be in a worse position.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, I guess we'll find out on Thursday when I never thought that the Sharks and Oilers would be one of the biggest games of the year for all the wrong reasons as it is today.
The loser bowl?
Yeah, the loser bowl. Have you seen the memes where they were talking about whichever team loses is banished from the NHL forever?
Yeah, they get relegated to the AHL.
Yeah, like some Tokyo Drift ass type of punishment. I was like, what? I was like, I would love to see that, but obviously it's not going to happen. But we can hope. So
I saw a bunch of memes of before the Sharks beat the Flyers this week.
Yeah, that
was like, can the Hershey Bears beat the Sharks?
Yeah,
and then the Sharks won, and then I went to like the post game subreddit. Yeah, the top comment was, "Can the Hershey Bears beat the Flyers?" Sharks fans already talking shit with one win.
How good are the Hershey Bears this year?
I have no idea. I just saw that meme.
Okay, I was like, I haven't really kept up with the AHL at all this year. Yeah, for all I know, the Barracuda might be better than the Sharks. So.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's the same team. More or less.
Though I'm pretty sure the Barracuda aren't that great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because all the Sharks prospects are too young for the NHL. Mm-hmm. They're playing in college. They're playing in Europe.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, like Will Smith is in college and all those things. So the actual decent prospects aren't really in the AHL yet.
So everything is just gutted right now for San Jose.
This is bare bones. This is like the McEichel Sabres. You remember those?
The McEichel Sabres?
So the year that McDavid and Jack Eichel were in the draft and teams tanked.
Yeah.
Do you remember how bad that Sabres team was?
Yeah, that was a bad team. They should have won the McDavid lottery.
Yeah,
And
it
then,
was
you know,
because of the
Edmonton-
lottery.
Yeah.
Edmonton jumped up.
Yeah.
Right. But they were the worst team.
Yeah.
Like,
That was a bad team. I remember that. Yeah.
this is NHL historically bad.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think,
we've set records already, I think. Or
They
maybe
tied the
not.
record for season opening losing streak.
Uh-huh.
Though I think if you go by goal differential, it's the worst.
Yeah. It has to be. It's like negative 40 something already,
Yeah.
right? It's like
And
10 games in.
The game they beat the Flyers, it was only one goal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So even if they do win, they won because of Mackenzie Blackwood. Let's put it that way. So that's one positive we can pull out of this. Maybe Blackwood gets flipped at the deadline for who knows what.
Maybe Blackwood should go to Edmonton.
I was gonna say Edmonton needs a goalie. Like, I mean, we could Blackwood for McDavid, 1-for-1.
No, I want McDavid and Draisaitl.
Okay, yeah, that is true. That is the team. Here's your goalie.
No, but realistically,
Yeah.
if you can get a first round pick out of Edmonton,
I mean, yeah, that's true. Especially, it's probably gonna be a conditional first pick, though.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing.
Considering how often Edmonton wins the lottery,
So
it has to be a first.
I wonder if you can swing because Mackenzie Blackwood by himself can get a first round pick.
Yeah,
I wonder if you say Mackenzie Blackwood for a first and Jack Campbell,
Mhm.
like you take a cap dump. Then maybe can you get them to say unprotected?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm the Sharks, I'm taking that.
Because obviously, it's the question of the Oilers. Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because that means you are putting all your hope in Blackwood to pull you out of lottery contention.
I feel like they should, because right now they're wasting prime Connor McDavid's career. They were what, cup favorites?
Yeah, last year.
Projected to be cup favorites this year? Yeah.
Even last year.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs, they were.
Well, Vegas ran through them, but yeah.
But they were up there.
Yeah.
And they're 2-3 years removed from a conference final appearance?
Something like that, yeah.
They were right on there.
Yeah. I mean, so honestly, I'm questioning how, we talked about how defense and goalie is just horrendous in Edmonton right now. But two, I don't know. I feel like they should be doing anything they can. Otherwise, who's to say that, McDavid doesn't, I don't think he's going to give up on the team. I don't think he's going to request a trade by any means.
He's the captain.
Yeah.
He's there.
He's not going to, but damn, they're just wasting this generational player. I feel like they got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
The GM's got to do something.
I think more likely than a trade, just because of how the cap situation is as I think Jay Woodcroft is in danger, right?
Yeah.
They're going to look for a coach.
Yeah.
So I don't even know who you're going to hire now. Boudreaux, maybe.
Yeah. I do think the Sharks have some positive in Mackenzie Blackwood. That's going to be their biggest piece of leverage at the deadline, maybe later.
They actually have a lot of deadline pieces.
Yeah.
Like Blackwood is one, Duclair is another.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Hurdle wants to leave, but maybe.
We should have traded him before that extension, I feel like.
Yeah.
But that was a Doug Wilson
I think
problem.
he wanted the extension was Greer, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
It was right when the transition was happening.
Yeah.
But I think he wanted to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's here.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Not to mention, Couture has been not playing most of these games.
I mean,
so
there's a bunch of NHL quality players that the Sharks have on the IR. Couture's one. Alex Barabanov is another.
Yeah.
This is the thing with the Sharks, though, is whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, what matters for the Sharks is locker room culture.
Yes.
Which is why I think we saw, I don't know if you heard about this, but Mike Greer had a team meeting and yelled at them after the Vancouver and Pittsburgh losses.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because did you see that clip of where Kaapo Kähkönen got injured?
No, I don't think so.
This was during the Vancouver game. Player rushes the net, goal goes in, but on the follow through, his knee clips Kähkönen's head.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't see that.
So Kähkönen's down, and there's a shot of where he's down on the ice with the trainer, and there's 4 players around him checking if he's okay. Mm-hmm. All 4 are Canucks.
Yeah.
0 Sharks.
Yeah. That's a bad culture. That is a bad culture. I did not know about that.
So I think Greer yelled at them like, hey, I know we suck, but you cannot be doing this. You got to stick up for your teammates and all of that. And the win they had against Philly, they did just that. Mm-hmm. They were feisty. Giovanni Smith got in a fight in the first period.
Yeah.
Anyone who took liberties, they shoved them right back.
Yeah.
Even the Stars. Somebody pushed Eklund a little too hard, and then Hurdle came up from behind and shoved them back. Mm-hmm. That was a gritty game.
Yeah.
And that's what the Sharks need.
Yep.
So I think there's a little bit of fire there. We'll see. What I'm worried about is because it's not innate.
Yeah.
It was from someone yelling at them that'll fade at some point.
Yeah.
But you need some way to keep that culture going, right?
I mean, I think it's a good work in progress. And right now, I don't think most of this roster is going to be around to like have to remember this culture or preserve this culture. But I do think, you know, having a GM in Mike Greer, who's, you know, as a player, he was kind of like he was a big leadership presence. And to have him kind of just push that message, I think that's going to be part of his role as GM for the next couple of years until like there's an actual roster that's going to like stay around.
Yeah.
I just don't see most of this roster staying around for long term.
I just hope when Couture is back, he can lead them.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, we'll find out. But basically what we're saying here is Oilers are trash, Sharks are trash. We're going to see which ones are which
they
one's the
play
ultra trash.
Thursday night. By the time you all are listening to this episode, that game will be over.
Yeah.
So
let us know if we're wrong or if Oilers are wrong. So
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Let's move to the Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah. Another team that's struggling.
Yeah.
Ottawa.
The thing is, I feel like they're not doing as bad as I expected them to. But
really,
I don't know. I expected worse from Ottawa. But there's other things going on off the ice that is pretty bad.
Yeah. So we're a little late on this.
Yeah.
But if you haven't heard the news, two big stories out of Ottawa, both off ice stories. Shane Pinto, their restricted free agent, has been suspended 41 games for violating NHL gambling rules.
Crazy.
What his actual violation was is not known. It's just rumors. The leading rumor is that he had a legal betting account, but he let someone else have access and place bets in his name, which is illegal.
Yeah.
So that is the rumor. It is not confirmed. And the penalty that was 41 games, it was assumed or issued. It starts from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Even though he did not have a contract because he's a restricted free agent. So that he's still property of Ottawa. His suspension was allowed to start from the beginning of the season. So halfway through the season, he's eligible to sign a contract and join Ottawa.
Got it. So he is serving a suspension right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Even though he's not technically signed, which plays in the hands of Ottawa that they can get him for much cheaper.
Yeah. I was going to say, somewhere I saw, obviously this is wrong, but that his suspension wouldn't even start until he was like signed to a team.
No.
I was like, that's just cruel at that point.
No. So they made it start from the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
And the other thing is that typically restricted free agents have to sign before December 1st.
Yeah. That
rule has been waived because Pinto was one of those rare RFAs where they're not eligible to sign an offer sheet. So because he's not eligible to sign an offer sheet, that December 1st rule does not apply. So he can join after December 1st.
Got it. Yeah, that really works out well in terms of salary cap for Ottawa. But something I also want to mention before we move on is that is a hefty suspension for something that's not actually confirmed that he may have violated, right?
It's confirmed to the NHL. They know exactly what he did.
Oh.
It is not made public.
It's not made public. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was like, how do you hand someone a half a season suspension and not confirm anything?
No. They know.
Okay, got it.
But it has not been made public.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of light because there have been previous players that have been caught gambling on NHL and there have been suspended for life.
Yeah. Just banned from the league, essentially.
Banned, which is, I mean, I would assume so, right? Especially if you look at what the NHL has done with gambling and how much they pushed it.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
But you can't have someone making it look like games are fixed.
Yeah.
That's like a big revenue stream now for the NHL that they'd lose.
Yeah.
So if he was actually suspending on if he was actually betting on NHL games, I think he'd be done.
Yeah.
41 games seems like there's a gray area that he violated. And the rumor of, he let someone else have access to his account when he shouldn't have makes sense.
Yeah. Is it, I mean, maybe it's just me, but it seems it leaves a bad taste in my mouth that a guy got suspended half a season for possibly messing up one of the NHL's revenue streams. But the whole Chicago situation, they kept their first round pick.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to the worst of it. You want to talk first round picks?
Yeah.
Here's another Ottawa situation.
Yeah. Add some salt to the wound.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
March 2022,
Mm-hmm.
which is now 2 seasons ago,
Mm-hmm.
Vegas attempted to trade Evgeny Dadonov
Mhm.
from Vegas to Anaheim.
Yeah, I remember this.
Dadonov claimed, no, the Ducks are on my 10-team no-trade list.
Yeah.
Vegas was like, you have no trade list. And the agent was like, no, yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
We submitted it to Ottawa before Ottawa traded Dadonov to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dadonov was traded to Vegas in July 2021, almost a year prior to Vegas trying to trade him.
Yeah.
And they failed to tell the Knights the existence of Dadonov's no-trade clause,
Yeah.
which is insane. The fact that I can look up the no-trade clause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you not double check that? I don't know.
Yeah. I can look that up.
Yeah.
So the NHL had an investigation into this, claimed Ottawa was at fault for not communicating to Vegas properly.
Yes.
And it was because of Dadonov's agent that this all got sorted anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the penalty issued to Ottawa was forfeiture of a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Ottawa can choose to forfeit in 2024, 2025, or 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And that choice has to be made 24 hours after the draft lottery of that year. So if Ottawa's in lottery contention, they can see if they won the lottery and then decide,
Mm-hmm.
which
Reasonable.
I think was nice.
Yeah. Reasonable.
The other thrown wrinkle into this is Michael Andlauer, who
Mhm.
just bought the Senators, was not in charge at the time this all went down. Because
Yeah.
this was almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And he was not informed of this prior to the sale.
Mm-hmm.
So you are punishing a new ownership and a new leadership group for something that didn't happen while you were there,
Yeah.
which sucks to suck, but
yeah.
that's what it is. The result of this situation, plus it hasn't been confirmed, but I think also the Pinto situation,
Yeah.
general manager Pierre Dorian has,
Been canned.
well, they said they parted ways
I think
mutually.
he got canned.
Yeah.
I think he got canned.
And right now, Steve Stais, who was hired as president of hockey operations by Michael Andlauer, is interim GM.
Mm.
So this is what's happening in Ottawa.
Dude, that's so messy.
So if you want to talk about forfeiting first round picks.
Yeah. I didn't know that they could pick after 24 hours after the draft lottery. That's a
Mhm.
nice little touch for it. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gushing wound, sure.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, make it make sense. I don't know. Like Arizona lost their first round pick a couple years ago
for illegally putting prospects through fitness testing at a time that was not
the combine
regulated.
Yeah. And this obviously this is definitely I'm not saying this wasn't a fuck up on Ottawa's part with the whole Vegas situation. Sure, at least it's bad, but the fact that there's teams losing first round picks left and right, and something happened with New Jersey many years ago as well. They lost a first round pick, but you have teams like Chicago. Now we have a second accusation coming to light as well.
Yeah.
How does it make sense? How does it
So can I give you what the argument is?
Yeah.
Even though I hate this argument.
Yeah.
But the argument is what Chicago did was not related to hockey per se. So it was not a competitive advantage.
It was a culture thing.
It was a culture thing and it was an illegal thing.
Yeah.
So that is why they said the penalty should not be sporting. It was financial penalty.
But it was a joke of a financial penalty too.
Yeah, that too. So we can talk about severity.
Yeah.
But that's why there was no pick forfeiture. It was only money. Man. And I hate this argument.
Yeah.
And I couldn't put my finger on it and why I hated it until, and I'm going to take this from Steve Dangle's podcast because he worded it properly.
Mm-hmm.
What was the whole reason in Chicago that they had the cover up anyway?
To win a cup. Competitive advantage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
God, man.
in the end, both these situations, Chicago and Ottawa, is not treating players properly.
Yeah.
Different degrees of severity.
Yeah.
Granted, don't come at me for that.
Significantly, yeah.
But if you can be fined picks for not treating your players properly, I think, Chicago should have been fined a pick.
Yeah.
This is not saying Ottawa got off easy. I think this is right for Ottawa.
Yes.
It's saying Chicago got off easy.
Way too easy, in my opinion. I think adding Fields to the Fire is also just the fact that, you know, they're two generational talents that won them 3 cups in 6 years. Not even a full season had passed, and all of a sudden now they have another generational talent.
If Chicago had lost picks, do they win the next 2 cups?
Oh.
Well, I guess they would have lost the picks now.
Yeah.
But let's say they hadn't covered it up.
Yeah.
And this whole thing came out about their culture. All the draft picks they got, the free agents they got through those cup runs.
You could argue had they not covered it up, the Flyers would have been 2010 Cup champs, right? I'm not saying, like, you know, all of a sudden like that the Cup win would have been dismissed, but that sure would have created a lot of hell publicity wise, right?
It would have been timing on when it comes out, or all of this thing would have mattered, right? But it was a competitive advantage.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, make it make sense, NHL. Yeah, you're clearly favoring teams, and you're not even trying to hide it anymore.
I don't even know if they're favoring teams or just winging shit.
Yeah.
It really feels like it's Gary Bettman winging shit.
Yeah. It's the same with goaltender interference. It's the same with half these rules that fans, GMs, players, nobody understands how the fuck it works.
Department of Player Safety.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know why. So there's this tangent. I don't know why for player safety there's not a set punishment for things. Like, check to the head is 4 games. It's always situational.
Yeah.
Like,
I understand, like, if they're a repeat offender, they should be penalized more, right?
Okay, so you can make that a rule.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. You
first
can.
offense is 4 games plus 2 extra games for every next offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
If you wanted to make it a rule, you could make it a rule.
Yeah. It's why don't they though? Like that's what I'm trying to understand here. Like it's so simple. We're 2 idiots talking on a podcast and we get it, and everyone else would understand and agree with it.
Yeah.
Why can't Gary Bettman do it? Like
because he wants the power to wield the hammer. If he likes you.
How does that make a league better? It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And the NHL culture is like this, right? Like, why are some players closer with refs?
Yeah.
And
that is true. Yeah.
Because then the refs go easy on them. It's a strategic thing to be nice to refs.
But that just messes up the sport, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why you're not considered a real sport in America.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's why, but like, yeah.
It's one of the reasons.
It's one of the reasons, yeah. And it's just, I don't know. Yeah.
The rules of hockey are confusing as it is.
Yeah. That's what I kind of want to say. I was like, the only rule I can explain at this point is icing and maybe offsides.
Even icing, some people don't get.
Yeah, they changed it because now you don't have to touch the puck.
Yeah, it's very and because on a power play, you can ice it.
Yeah,
on a penalty kill, you can ice it. So it's like arbitrary.
Yeah,
right? Like some rules are straightforward. Offsides, great,
easy to understand. Yeah,
the goalie trapezoid, great.
Yeah,
everything else, fucking who knows?
Improvise. Does it help you make money or not?
Yeah.
At this point, that's how it feels like the NHL is running.
Did this guy give me a signed puck the other day? Let him go.
Yeah. Did he buy me a nice little warm cup of Timmy's on the way in?
We can slow-mo review these things, but not these things.
Yeah. How the hell does any of that make...
Like, I feel like at some point, maybe the next CBA negotiations, just chuck the rule book and start over.
I think they should.
And
I really think they should.
Fucking, if you were serious, you'd do that, right?
Yes.
And I'm not saying you need to reinvent the sport, right? Like, all the players aren't going to be confused. And even if they are confused, call a few penalties, they'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys are smart. They've been playing this game their entire lives. They understand that rules change depending on league to league.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. At this point, I don't know what the hell. I feel like I'm watching like reality TV where it's like, oh, it's real, but it's scripted. Everyone knows it's scripted.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the NHL is scripted by any means, but I'm just saying like it's fictional at this point. It feels like
like you just have to kind of go along for the ride.
Yeah.
Because I can see 2 different hits have 2 different penalties, and I can't tell you why.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, I've almost started watching those Department of Player Safety videos on injuries and stuff.
Yeah. I love those.
Because I'm just like, let's see what it is today. Yeah. Who knows? We have no idea. You know what the problem with the NHL is there's no accountability, I feel like. There's no accountability. It's just Gary Bettman is a kid in a candy shop, and just if he wants to do it, he can. He totally can. And nobody's holding him accountable. Nobody's holding these refs accountable.
And ultimately, Gary Bettman answers to the owners, right?
Yeah.
And the owners don't care what happens as long as more money keeps coming in.
Yeah.
So this is what it is.
Yeah. The phrase "money is the root of all evil" is very applicable here.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to the point where dedicated fans like you and I have no idea what the hell we're watching anymore.
Yeah.
And
because I fell in love with the sport when I was 8, I'm still here.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I can't imagine a life without hockey.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I can't recognize hockey anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know how we got from the Ottawa Senators to this.
Because the idea of discipline,
yeah.
we've mentioned this on the show before. Discipline is arbitrary.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we end this on a little bit of a happier note?
Yeah.
Kind of tying in?
Sure. Sorry. This story was reported by Ryan Clark from ESPN. Justin Rogers, the assistant athletic trainer for the Seattle Kraken, has come out publicly as gay, and he is the first gay member to work behind the bench in an NHL team. So I just wanted to amplify that story.
Yeah.
And kind of...
why is this a big deal? Is because, we were talking about the rolling back of the pride tape and the inclusivity and everything. This is why it's important. You have no idea how many people are hiding things, right?
Yeah, and the fact that this person can come to his place of work and be comfortable with who he is.
Yep.
Is why it matters.
Yep.
So
there's a lot of battles being fought off the ice, battles that probably don't involve many of us, but that's why they need to be fought anyways. Yes. Because the person standing next to you, the person you care so much about, is dealing with shit you have no idea what they have going through their brains, and that's a battle you'll never understand. You might as well fight it for them anyways.
Yep. So next time you get the stick handed to you and you score from this guy, this is why. This is the guy you work with. Yep. So I just wanted to share that story.
Yeah.
End on a good note.
Yeah. Nice little win at the end.
Shall we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think we should.
It's been a lot. We'll see you next week. This has been Glass Seats. We're out every week. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, Instagram for those last 2 platforms. @Spud Network Podcast is the handle. You can check out this show. You can check out all our other shows. And wherever you listen to us, if you can leave us a like, comment, follow, subscribe, whatever it is, helps us grow the show. We will see you next week.
Bye.